The scream came in the middle of the night. It was sharp, desperate, cutting through the quiet streets of Abuja like a blade. Dogs barked frantically. Windows rattled. In a small, dimly lit room, Chike, 8 years old, sat upright in bed, eyes wide and heart pounding. His chest heaved rapidly. His small hands trembled. Shadows from the moonlight stretched across the walls, twisting as if alive, crawling along the floor and ceiling. Chike shivered, a cold fear gripping him deep in his bones. Something terrible was coming, he could feel it in every part of him. The day had started like any other. Hunger gnawed at him, sharp and constant. Breakfast had been nothing but a lukewarm cup of water. His mother had rushed out early, muttering about bills and errands. His father had been gone for months, chasing work that never seemed to pay enough. Chike had nothing for school, no money, no food, nothing but his uniform hanging loosely on his thin frame and his worn shoes. He remembered the mornings he had tried to ask for help. "Mommy, please, just a little money for school." His voice had been small, almost invisible behind the kitchen door. His mother's lips had tightened. "We don't have, Chike. Stop asking." That had been the last time he dared ask. School was worse. Hunger gnawed at him, twisting his stomach until each step felt heavy. During break, other children ran outside, laughing, opening packets of snacks, coins jingling in pockets. Chike stayed at the edge of the playground, small and unnoticed. He tried to tell himself he could wait until lunch, but hunger made thinking impossible. He smelled fried meat from a boy's lunchbox nearby, and his mouth watered uncontrollably. "Please, can I have some?" he whispered, almost too quietly to hear. The boy shrugged and tossed him a few peanuts. Relief and shame collided in Chike's chest. And that's when he noticed the tall man watching, standing in the shadow of the fence, silent, still. Chike did not know the man yet, but a sense of unease prickled at the back of his neck. That night, the man appeared again, near the alley by Chike's house. Black clothes, black shoes, black cap. Eyes sharp and unreadable, like dark coals. "Hungry, little one," the man whispered. Chike swallowed hard. I don't have." "You don't need to have," the man said softly. "I can give you food. Coins. Everything you want." Hunger roared in Chike's stomach. He nodded, unable to resist. From that night, Chike began meeting the man in secret. Coins appeared in his pocket. Snacks appeared in his bag. For the first time in weeks, his belly was full. A warmth spread in his chest, not from food, but from attention, from feeling noticed and important. The man began teaching him small games, tests of courage. "You must learn bravery," he said. "Bravery is everything in this world." Chike obeyed eagerly, thrilled by the attention, unaware of the darkness slowly wrapping itself around him. Soon, Chike was introduced to older boys in black, all with strange markings on their hands. They smiled at him, called him one of us. He felt he belonged. At home, no one noticed. At school, he was invisible. Here, he had importance. Belonging came with rules. Dark, quiet rules. Each ritual, each small initiation, claimed a piece of him he did not understand. Weeks passed. Strange things began happening in the estate. People whispered about neighbors disappearing, animals found dead, sudden illnesses striking families. Chike's parents noticed a change, his eyes distant, his laughter gone. They asked questions. He muttered, looked away, and hid what he could. Chike's hunger and desire for belonging made him obedient. He followed instructions without thinking, each command tightening the cult's grip on him. One evening, the man led Chike into the forest behind the estate. Shadows stretched long. The air smelled of damp earth and decay. Older boys chanted in a language Chike did not know. He trembled, but fear was mixed with excitement and the hope of reward. Then he saw them, neighbors, friends, even strangers, kneeling, tied, eyes wide with fear. Chike froze. His stomach twisted with nausea and dread. "This is what happens to those who betray us," the man whispered behind him. "And you must never tell anyone." Chike wanted to run, to scream. His feet would not move. The shadows seemed alive, wrapping around him. Fear became a weight pressing down, bending him in ways he could not resist. At home, his parents grew worried. They saw the fear, the trembling hands, the distance in his eyes. They tried to speak, tried to reach him, but he said nothing. Days turned into weeks. The cult grew stronger. Shadows moved in the night. Whispers filled the estate. Chike, a child seeking food and attention, had become a tool of terror. One afternoon, at school, Chike tried to share his fear with a friend. I don't feel right, he whispered. But the boy laughed. You're just scared of nothing. Don't worry. The words hit Chike hard. No one could see the darkness creeping around him, no one could understand what had begun. At home, hunger and neglect continued to haunt him, even as the cult gave him food and coins. Each night, he struggled with guilt. He loved his parents, but the cult demanded obedience. The man's words echoed endlessly, loyalty is life. Never speak. Never betray. One night, while Chike slept, the man appeared again. You are mine, he hissed. Everything you love belongs to me. Chike cried. No. I didn't mean. I didn't know. The man smiled cruelly. Shadows twisted around the room like snakes. Ignorance is no excuse. You chose hunger. You chose want. And now, you pay. His parents, desperate, sought the help of a community elder, a woman who knew old ways. She arrived chanting, burning incense, calling Chike's name. Her voice filled the air with warmth and power. Chike saw his parents, his mother's trembling lips, his father's fist, his sister's frightened eyes. Something inside him broke. Hunger, fear, and desire for belonging all seemed meaningless compared to the love he had ignored. He screamed, breaking the hold of the cult. Shadows shrieked and recoiled. The symbols on his hands faded. The cult's grip weakened. Chike collapsed into his mother's arms, sobbing without fear. His parents whispered love and protection. They fed him, clothed him, stayed with him. The estate slowly returned to normal. Families healed. Chike never begged again. Hunger no longer controlled him. Every night, the family prayed, whispering love and protection. Months passed. Chike began to understand the power of neglect. Hunger had almost cost him his life. The darkness he had stepped into had nearly destroyed his family. He returned to school with quiet determination. No longer seeking attention from shadows, he worked hard, helped classmates, and grew brave in ways that did not require darkness. Years later, Chike grew tall and strong. He shared his story quietly, teaching children and parents alike, never ignore a child's needs. What seems small can open doors to dangers beyond imagination. Abuja's streets, once silent witnesses, now held a lesson: watch your children. Feed them. Care for them. Love them. Otherwise, darkness will claim what you neglected.